Hey everybody, I'm here with a brand new update, hot off the presses, for the Crimson Scales fan-made expansion for Gloomhaven. And I am so excited to bring this to you today. It just came out earlier. There was a few things I wanted to talk about, so let's get into it. The first, and I know I'm going to get this question because I've gotten it a lot, and so I just want to put it out there. This is a fan-made expansion. There are no copyright issues. Isaac is aware of this. There are no problems as long as the creator of this fan-made expansion, gentleman Mr. Board Game 613 from Reddit, as long as he doesn't make any money off of it, there are no problems. The assets have all been released to the public. Lots of people are making fan-made content. This just happens to be fan-made content that is drastically better than other content. And that's not a shot at anyone else. There's been a ton of effort put into this. I've got another video where I interview Mr. Board Game 613. I'll put a link down in the description. So if you want to check out the details on that, if you haven't seen it, go ahead, check that out. There's some, cool stuff in there. It's going to have custom box art, etc. So let's get into it. There's just a few things I wanted to talk about. The first is that the scenario book is going to be upgraded. So original Gloomhaven, you can see everything in the scenario. It's all on one page. And then in Forgotten Circles, they changed to a better format where a lot of stuff was hidden, and that stops you from gaming the system, and it just creates a sense of mystery. So the first thing is that the graphic artist Testum, who's done a lot of the iconography, he's actually worked on, creating it in the manner that Forgotten Circles was created, where it's hidden information and you have to turn from page to page. Personally, I think it's better, but I'm curious as to what you think. I know some people think it makes it a little bit more fiddly, takes a little bit more time, stuff like that. Make sure you comment below. I love the mystery, but if you don't, let me know why you think it's better to use the original Gloomhaven way. And good job, Testum. I'm glad that we're going this way myself. And then there's some polishing. That's the word they're using. There's some polishing on the items. They're just, they're going to look a little bit better. I think they look great. Not sure about that Drake scale dagger though. Not draw a modifier for the attack. Maybe there's something. And this is what's like, I have not spoiled a lot of this for myself. So maybe there's something in, the actual campaign that makes that more useful than it appears. There's, 65 new scenarios. There's tons of new items. There's city and road events. There's a box. There's a survey also too, and we'll go through that here shortly. We'll go through the survey just to, see what it's all about and, figure out, what answers I'm going to put forth because I'm going to fill it out. Make sure that you go to the survey. The more people that respond, the better the expansion's going to be for everybody. So make sure your voice gets heard. I'm going to put a link down in the description to the Reddit page and to the actual survey itself so you can go there and check it out. Pricing. And here's where some people are maybe going to have a little bit of a problem. Games like Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, stuff like that, big games, they get produced in large quantities. Because of that, individual component prices go down. It looks like the components are going to be pretty expensive. And so I'll go through kind of the list of what the costs are and then just talk through that. But to me, it looks pretty expensive. I've got this number down here highlighted. This is for the printed models. So there's 11 miniatures. They're actually higher quality than Gloomhaven. However, here they're looking like they're going to cost $7.50 to $15 US per mini. There's 11 classes. At the outside, it would be $165 to have these printed. I don't know if that includes shipping, but that's getting to be very, very expensive. And when you add in the cost of everything else, that could really push it up a lot. So let me know what your thoughts are. Are you going to get the miniatures, or are you just going to get the standees, Or are you just going to, play it on Tabletop Simulator? Because it is going to come out on Tabletop Simulator as well. Personally, I'm a tactile guy. I want to play this, with my gaming group. I want to get my hands on things. And I'm lucky I have a 3D printer, which I have not used very often. So I'll probably mess it up. But I'm going to try and print these. Red Nephilim, if you're out there, I will draw on your expertise at some point here to figure out how to get this printer going. I've had it for months, and I have printed one thing. I have not done... Okay, digressing. The miniatures seem to be really expensive. And then also, there was one other thing I wanted to go over here. Yes, they're changing from Printer Studio. Apparently, Printer Studio was too expensive, and so drivethroughcards.com is going to be the new go-to. I don't know what the global implications are. I think Printer Studio is accessible in Europe, but I don't know if Drive-Through Cards is. So I'm curious as to whether that causes some kind of global impact. Anyways, let's get to the survey. So here we've got: do you plan on purchasing the physical version? I'm going to say other, because some of it's gonna depend on cost. I'm not gonna print everything if the cost is $300, right? Like it's not gonna be that much unless you print miniatures and they're at the outside. But it is gonna be somewhat of a cost-based decision for me. I definitely will print some, and that's what we'll get to down here. And then here we've got one big scenario book or two separate books. So I just reached out to Board Game 613 before this. He doesn't think the cost for the two books is going to be substantially more. It's just a way of splitting it up. So just bear that in mind when you're answering. I'll probably go two separate books as long as the cost is pretty close. As soon as I know more, I'll update again. He's looking into that right now. And then, what do you plan on purchasing from online print shops? I'm definitely getting the cards. The cards, I need the cards. I don't want to print them myself and deal with that. I want good, high quality cards that feel nice, tactile. And then the cardboard character mats and the standees, I'll probably get those. I don't know, it adds a lot of theme. It's different. I like having the character in front of me instead of just holding cards. It feels more real. It's one thing that I'm glad they're doing different in Frosthaven, is that they're creating more of a character mat that has a little bit more interest than the original Gloomhaven, because the original Gloomhaven was essentially just a picture with, copy paste the rest, right? In Frosthaven, they're adding a lot more detail. I think that's going to be really cool, but I like having that sit in front of me. I just do. The official Crimson Scales box, I don't know. It depends. I'm going to add up everything once the final costs come in and see where it lies. I want to get the box because, I want somewhere to store all this extra stuff, especially if I print the minis. I'm going to need somewhere to put them, but it's not really necessary. None of it's really necessary, I guess, if you're going to play on Tabletop Simulator, but we'll see. And the scenario books, that's also a maybe. I can print. I got a pretty good high quality color printer, and color costs me the same as black because I'm on like a program where they, can tell how much ink I have, via being connected to the web, and they just automatically send me ink and stuff, and it's per page. I pay per page. Anyways, it doesn't cost me anything extra to print color, so I may actually end up printing color. If I was paying for it myself, I'd probably have it printed, because printing it in color is going to get pretty pricey. So unless you want it in black and white, and that's going to look pretty janky. Don't do that. And then the 3D miniatures, I'm never paying that much for the 3D miniatures. And this is not a shot at all. Because you don't have economy of scale, things cost a pretty decent amount. I'll be trying to print these myself with help from hopefully Red Nephilim, and we'll see how things go. I'll probably make some videos on it, just, to show you guys how bad I am at 3D printing, and hopefully I can actually, work my way through it and, help people in the community to print it or print them. And then the extra attack modifier deck, definitely not. I have no suggestions for online print shops. I'll leave that up to Mr. Board Game 613. And special requests? Hey, this guy's done enough. I mean, he's done a lot. He's put in a ton of work. I hope everybody out there really appreciates someone who has this kind of passion for our hobby. And, you know, he deserves kudos. Like, he's done some really cool things, and this has become basically a second job for him. So that's pretty much all I have. Make sure you comment below. Make sure you subscribe so that, you know, as I put out more updates, you're notified. And thanks so much for watching the video.